Hello everyone, Juxtaposition here. Today's video will be entitled Carol Klein Corrections. Just want to make sure that we get our facts straight. I went back and looked at Carol Klein, who you know as Carole King. You know, the mega star who's associated with Tapestry and Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? One of my favorite Carole King songs. I was a big Carole King fan. I still am, but my perception of her, is diminished because she's just another Jewish crisis actor that got a job at RCA. I mean, she's hardly original in any way, shape, or form. Just like Madonna is fake, and Katy Perry, Britney Spears, Madonna, it's the same person, okay? They're just cutouts. And to a large extent, Carol Klein is a cutout too. I mean, she can play the piano and she can sing, and she's part of a songwriting team and she can contribute to the lyrics or melodies of songs, but so can thousands of other people who don't have royalties from selling albums promoted by RCA. Or you could say EMI, which is RCA. Anyway, my last video, I believe I stated that Carole King was married and divorced 3 times. And then I went back and said, well, one of her husbands died, so she was married 3 times and divorced twice. Well, no, I was right the first time. She has been married 4 times and divorced 3 times. Okay, so her first husband was Jerry Goffin, and they got married in late 1959 while she was pregnant and still in high school. So Carol Klein, and Carol is not spelled with an E, okay? It's Carol, no E, Joan Klein. Carol Joan Klein. She was born February 9th, 1942. She's 81 years old. Effectively, she's the same age as Sharon Tate would be if Sharon Tate were alive. But Sharon Tate actually would be 80 years old, but she's dead because she got killed by NATO bayonets wielded by NATO soldiers on a Gladio team. Teams of 3. Just like Carol Klein was on a team of 3 songwriters amongst many other teams of 3. Isn't it interesting that the Brill building in Manhattan, operated by Don Kirshner on behalf of RCA, operated with Gladio teams of 3. You have a piano and 2 songwriters working together, and Carol was on a songwriting team with her baby daddy, Jerry Goffin, and they had to supposedly write a song to counter Neil Sedaka's song, "Oh Carol." You see, the problem here, people, is Neil Sedaka was dating Carol Klein while she was in high school, and Neil Sedaka was working at RCA in the Brill building in New York. He's 21 years old. He's 4 years older than Carol Klein. So much to Neil Sedaka's surprise, she turns up pregnant, but apparently it was Jerry Goffin's baby. And oh boy. So fortunately, they got married in a synagogue in Long Island before Louise Goffin was born. Louise was born, let me give you the facts, of the first child of Carol Klein. I'm trying not to laugh. Okay, I'm sure these are nice people, but I just want to get the facts straight because the media has done a great job of concealing the truth here. The truth is that Louise Goffin was born on March 23rd, 1960. Okay, that makes her 63 years old today. She was born in Brooklyn, New York, and she was born to fortunately, a married Carol Klein who was married to Jerry Goffin. Anyway, once Carol Klein graduated from high school, she immediately went to work at the RCA building with her ex-boyfriend, Neil Sedaka. And I guess it was okay that Jerry Goffin accompanied her there, since he's the baby daddy and now husband of the Carol Klein, Louise Goffin story. And a little awkward situation, but you know that Neil Sedaka came out with a song called "Oh Carol," where he bemoaned his love for Carol Klein, and she betrayed him. He didn't use the word pregnant. He didn't use any pejorative terms. It was unclear why Carol Klein broke up with Neil Sedaka. But we now know it's because she got pregnant by another man. That's the truth of it. And then to counter this move, Jerry Goffin allegedly wrote "Oh Neil," a counterattack to Neil Sedaka's "Oh Carol." Except now, based on my research, I don't know who wrote what song. I don't know if Howard Greenfield wrote these songs. He's the next door neighbor of Neil Sedaka. Or if Neil Sedaka wrote the songs, or if Jerry Goffin wrote the songs, or if none of the above wrote the songs. Because you do know they have another 4 dozen songwriters in that building that could write "Oh Neil" and "Oh Carol." So what I wanted to say is that Carole King was married 4 times. And let me just give you the names of the husbands so that there's no more confusion. First, she married her first baby daddy, Jerry Goffin. They were married about 9 years, from 1959 to 1968. Then she, quick like a bunny rabbit, married Charles Larkey, and they were married for 5.5 years, from 1970 to 1976. Then she married Rick Evers, and that was a very short marriage. She married him in 1977, and he died the next year in 1978. So that might be something to look into, why Rick Evers didn't even make their first year anniversary. Then we have Rick Sorensen, who Carol Klein King married in 1982, and they got divorced 6.5 years later. In 1989, that was Carol Klein's 3rd divorce. So married 4 times. Rick Evers died and divorced 3 times. And of course, because Hollywood, film, television, and the music industry, which includes Manhattan, New York, which is a big part of the entertainment industry, is a friends and family. Well, it's a family-oriented cult. You get a Screen Actors Guild card, and your children are invited into the industry because Louise Goffin, who I told you was born in 1960, she has a short, abbreviated career as a recording artist herself. And she played with Jackson Browne at the Troubadour on Santa Monica Boulevard in Hollywood. And she did that when she was 17 years old. And believe me, if she wasn't the daughter of Carole King, that never would have happened. There is no way you're going to get stage time at the Troubadour, which is a military-controlled club, just like the Whiskey A Go-Go is, just like the Roxbury Theater was, just like the Comedy Store is, the Viper Club, the Rainbow Room, and all the nude dancing clubs along Sunset Boulevard, and Gold Star Studios on Santa Monica Boulevard, which is in close proximity to the Troubadour. You should know also that Louise Goffin, Carole King's daughter, appears on the soundtrack to Fast Times at Ridgemont High School. You never would have a young artist appearing in a Hollywood film unless you're the family member of a cult. You have to be a cult member to get on there. So just wanted to clarify briefly that I was right the first time about Carol Klein. Correct spelling of her name is Carol, no E, right? And then she has a middle name, Joan, and then it's Klein, spelled Klein. She's Jewish. All her husbands, I believe, are Jewish. Not sure about Rick Sorensen. But she's unmarried at the present time. She's 81 years old. She's not married. And I can tell you, Neil Sedaka's Jewish. Don Kirshner's Jewish. He created the Monkees, and he created Carole King. Because there is no Carole King. There's Carol Klein. And Don Kirshner turned her into Carole King. He created the Monkees, and the Monkees were a fake band. And Carole King is a fake solo songwriter. She is a songwriter, but she's not a solo songwriter. She's part of a team of teams from RCA in the Brill building. So what I want to tell you is Neil Diamond was created there. He's Jewish. Neil Sedaka was created there. He's Jewish. Neil Sedaka's next door neighbor, Howard Greenfield, he's Jewish. He perhaps wrote this music. Who knows, right? You don't know who wrote what. It's a sausage factory. You don't know who killed the pig or what organs went where. You have no idea when it's ground up as sausage meat. You don't know what's going on down there when they're making bacon. It's the same story where Madonna came from in a different building 1 mile south at the Music Building with 69 recording studios, working for Warner Brothers. They produce sausages for Warner Brothers also. They're all the same. It's a very small community, and it's mostly Jewish people. It's all managed by Jewish managers, and most of the artists that are presented to us are Jewish. And all the managers are Jewish. There are a few exceptions. Madonna was Catholic, okay? But you know that Madonna converted to Judaism, right? Madonna is Jewish. Madonna was born Roman Catholic, but she's Jewish today because she converted. I did a video on that, I don't know, a month ago. So Madonna is Jewish. Madonna is Jewish, okay? So she was baptized. She took her first Holy Communion. She was confirmed as Veronica, but now she has a Jewish name under the Kabbalah, which I forgot. I think it's Esther. I think she's Esther now. She was Veronica in the Catholic Church, but now she's Esther. So it's Madonna, Esther, Veronica. Who the hell knows what Madonna is? Because she went into the sausage machine and she came out Jewish. Klein was already Jewish, so she didn't need to be modified too much. But you notice they added an E and they deleted the Klein and replaced it with King. All right, well, anyway, I hope you understand now that you shouldn't believe anything you read in the newspapers, like Sonny Barger told me from the Hells Angels, and you should never believe anything that's on television or on social media or anything that comes across your military targeting tracking system. This is part of a weapons program. Don't believe anything that comes across there. It's all mendacity and poppycock. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.